Climate change. What is it, you say? Well, climate change is a pattern in the global climate environment that is mostly due to the increased levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide caused by the use of fossil fuels. What effect will this have on the polar bears? It has been argued that the global climate change will have a tremendous effect on them. The main argument is that the sea ice they are currently living on is rapidly melting away due to the current levels of greenhouse gas emission. Amstrup and his colleagues researched this argument and discovered that polar bears may not be doomed after all. Polar bears were initially listed as endangered because of a study that used a constant for the levels of greenhouse gas emission. During Amstrup's research, he discovered that by swapping out the constant for a variable to represent the levels of greenhouse gas emission, the polar bears population would in fact thrive and possibly expand. The base argument is that the constant greenhouse gas emission level, the global climate change will continue to worsen, causing the sea ice to melt. As a side effect, the polar bears' habitat will degrade and the polar bears will have to swim further for food and to breed. The long distances increase the dangers faced by the bears. As a result, there will be a severe decline in survival and birth rates. Eventually, the declination of survival and birth rates of the polar bears will lead to extinction. The controversy surrounding the use of this model, such as the one that there are many unknowns. These unknowns severely compromise the certainty with which the models can predict future conditions. This picture here shows the distribution of the polar bears in the Arctic region recorded in 2010. It shows that in the Arctic region, the darker areas are the higher density of polar bears and the lighter areas are the lower density. Through their research, Amstrup and his colleagues first looked at the global climate change with respect to an ever-changing level of greenhouse gas emission. They found no evidence of any likely tipping points at which there would be no hope of saving the polar bears. What they did find was restricting greenhouse gas emissions would improve the sea ice levels, and in turn this would benefit many other animals living in similar climates. Amstrup's conclusion was that greenhouse gas emission rates are not permanent, and that proactive behaviour towards these levels will save many animals, including the polar bears. The importance of this investigation, it shows that if we reduce greenhouse gas emissions now, we too create a more positive outcome for global climate change and many wonderful animals, in particular the polar bear.